God, I am not a morning person. Thank God I have this though. Make this video a little bit easier. On a real note though, good morning guys. It's super early. It's like 9 in the morning. No, I mean it's not super early, but I've had a lot of people on social media request this video, so I'm gonna do this. Shout out to the followers. You gotta listen to them. Shout out to the fans. You know, support those who support you. That's just what it's about. So I'm extremely tired right now. I'm actually gonna get the blood pumping. Exercise is supposed to wake you up. I'm gonna put that to the test right now. So I'm gonna go for a little cruise right now. Take you guys with me. So one of the biggest questions I always get all the time is why STI, not WRX? The new WRX is a new engine called the FA20. The STIs have been using the same engine for the past 8 years now. It's been, I think, 8 years. It's the EJ257, which is a 2.5 liter. The new WRXs have a 2.0 FA20, which is out of the BRZ, and I believe the Forester XT as well. It's a newer engine and it's proven to make more power than the STI, and it's more reliable supposedly. So before I even get into why STI and stuff, we're actually going to talk about some of the key differences between the WRX and the STI. And I'm going to even just get into it before I get into power mods, before I get into what makes more power, what's faster, what's more reliable, blah blah blah. So we'll get into some of the key differences first off. So number one of the first things that is major difference is handling. Handling is something that the STI will completely outshine the WRX. People that know me on a personal level know that I came out of a Mazda Miata. So when you come out of a Mazda Miata and you drive anything else, the handling is just only going to gradually go down. There's nothing that's going to outshine the Miata, you know, especially that car has like 0 power as it is, so you're able to just go full throttle around turns and stuff. And that car was a blast. I loved that car just because it didn't need that much power. It didn't need it. It was fun to drive everywhere, especially in the corners. You know, it was a blast. It was a go-kart made for the streets. So talking about handling, the STI has stiffer suspension, which you could imagine. It also has torque vectoring as well, and I'm sure one of you guys are wondering is what the hell is torque vector. And to be completely honest with you, I mean, this is just what I've heard. I heard that torque vectoring, what it is during hard turning and stuff like that, it'll break that inner wheel to help the car actually move around corners. You know, it'll break whatever inner wheel, you know, what is the inner wheel around a turn, so that it'll help you get around a bend and stuff like that. Let's look inside too, also talking about control and performance. Alright, so sitting in the STI, one of the key things you'll notice, besides the fact that it says STI all over the place, you're reminded once here, you're reminded once here. If you turn it to the on position, I'm just going to turn it on, not on all the way, because I don't want to waste my gas. Anyway, I try to focus on it. It doesn't work because I'm using a fisheye. It says it again, STI on the gauge there, gauge cluster. So talking about control, you have your SI drive, which some people who have STIs already know what this is. Some people who've driven an STI know what it is, but you guys might not. What SI drive essentially is you have 3 modes. You have intelligent, which is like your eco mode. It'll really kill off the throttle sensitivity. Throttle's pretty close, so you can't kill gas. It feels kind of slow. You never really think this car has power driving an intelligent, because it really is that world of a difference, and it's just cranks down the boost, cranks down the throttle response. It's not that quick. Then you have your second mode, which is Sport. Sport is, what it does is it opens up the throttle a little bit more. It'll give you a little more boost. It'll give you a little more sporty feel. It revs out a little higher, likes to shift in the higher RPM, versus Intelligent, where it builds RPM kind of slow, again, to help you save that gas, because this thing can guzzle through it quickly if you wanted to. Yeah, that's another thing, is a Sport. Highest performance level, number 3, Sport Sharp. Throttle is opened up really, well, it's the widest out of all the modes, and the Throttle response is really good. You really have to shift really high in the RPM for it to shift smoothly. You really don't even have to press on the throttle that much to get a wide open throttle pull. Shifts quickly. Boost is cranked up, and if you're gonna do canyon runs, track driving, acceleration on a freeway, things like that, Sport Sharp is where it's at. I'm sure you guys are thinking, who cares? Why would you want that? Who cares about basically eco mode and sport mode? But that's not the whole point. The whole point is that, see this little thing right there? This says manual and C diff. That is where the control is at. What this does is it allows you to control between front and rear differentials. So you can actually distribute how the power is being handled. Not that most people ever mess with it. Most people usually only do auto. So if you can barely see it, I apologize, the lighting is terrible. So right now it's on auto, that's why the little bar in the middle is on the middle. If I press up, see how there's 2 bars now? Right now that's for like slippery surfaces and things like that. And then if you go back to auto minus, that's for like more power going to the rear. That's for like if you're not on a slick surface or anything like that, if you're trying to drive fast. If you're doing, if you want pure performance, you do auto minus, or you can just leave it in auto. Usually I just leave it in auto. I leave it in auto because you can actually damage the transfer case, and you can actually get the stuff, you can get things to grind if you lock it up too much. I've never experienced it personally, thank God. I've never done it, but I've heard of people doing it online, and I've actually seen people doing videos too, and I'm not trying to be that guy, especially not on YouTube. So yeah, the controlling torque vectoring and stuff, this car also has a 13:1 steering ratio. I don't know what the WRX's is, if the WRX has a 13:1, but also going to control as well. These ones don't say it anymore. They used to say it on the actual brake caliper, but these are Brembo brakes too. Those of you know performance, know Brembo. The Brembo braking on this car is a 6-piston caliper for the front and a 4-piston caliper for the rear. I don't know the exact spec of the rotors, like what sizing they are and stuff like that, but anyone can just hear, any car guy could hear 6-piston caliper front, 4-piston caliper rear, and know that's a good thing. Another key difference to determine WRX or STI for now, which a lot of people will know by, besides the fact that the STI reminds you of badges every single place you look, is the big old wing. The wing is a big way for people to determine too, other than wheels and stuff. But most people aren't gonna know. Most people aren't gonna know all those fun facts I just hit you with. With the calipers and the torque vectoring and the SI drive and all that stuff. People usually won't know about all that. So now we can talk about the engine. The big reason why so many people love to get the WRX. Oh, look at my intercooler. Woo! That means power. Just kidding, guys. But yeah, we can talk about engine and drivetrain now. Now, most people who debate STIs and EVOs know usually that the STI's weak point compared to an EVO is that the EVO has a strong engine, but the drivetrain necessarily isn't as strong as the STIs. One of my friends, Josh Teets, who works as a floor manager at Puente Hill Subaru, has told me that this transmission in an STI is prorated for 750 horsepower, which is an outrageous number. I would never want a street car at that number, but the fact that that transmission can hold 700 plus from the factory is pretty remarkable. I've heard a lot of people make jokes about EVO transmissions, that they're made of glass and that their transfer cases and the transmissions aren't as strong as Subarus. So that's another, I guess that's one downside to owning an EVO, is that the transmissions usually need to be built if you chase more power, because those cars can make power pretty easily. So the transmission in this car, from what I hear, is a lot quicker as far as like shifts go and what the gearing is compared to the WRX. I also really wanted the boxer rumble too. I feel like the Subarus need that boxer rumble because that's what kind of it kind of like represents the Subi and boxer rumble, boxer engine, etc. And most WRX owners are probably going to go ham on this video in the like and comment section. But I'm just gonna say it. I really didn't. The FA20, from what I've seen, is a great motor. It hasn't been around for a whole long time for me personally to be sold on it. I know in 2015 they had a huge recall. It was leaning out really bad. One of my friends who worked at a Subaru dealer, I'm not going to say which one, they replaced like 5 small blocks in a really short period of time because it was leaning out, and that's why they had that service campaign to do the spark plug and leak down test, you know, to try it out and stuff. And I heard that there were problems with it leaning out and replacing so many blocks. I mean, yes, I know these have ringland failure and stuff like that, but that actually, the percentage of those has actually gone down a lot significantly, as long as you maintain it, versus some of the older ones I know that suffered from it a lot more. But that's mainly it. I like that this car is mainly about control, about keeping a high level of grip and confidence inspiring driving for, you know, like corners and stuff like that. The torque vectoring, stiffer suspension, the 13:1 steering ratio, Brembo brakes, all those stuff. And also the fact that this engine has been around for a very long time and has been tried and proven essentially. Like, it's been, if it breaks, people know how to fix it really easily, and there's huge aftermarket support to fix this car if something ever to happen way down the line if my warranty isn't going to cover that. And the FA20, even though they say it's a lot stronger and stuff, it hasn't been around for that long. It really hasn't. And so you can't really say that it's that much better because it hasn't been around for that much long. But yes, from the face of it, you know, when you compare bolt-on to bolt-on mod, access port to access port with this car and the new WRX, the WRX will make more power, and they're actually torque machines too. I've gotten a lot of people ask me why I chose STI if it's slower modified than the WRX, the new WRX, but those are just my things. I'm curious to see, you know, if the FA motor does eventually go in the STI. I hear a lot of talk that it might, but I don't care, man, about being the fastest or anything like that. I enjoy the car the way it is, and I think people get a little too worried about being the fastest on the road. Guys, there's always going to be someone out there with more money, a faster car, has a more built motor or something like that. You're not going to be the fastest guy on the road, especially not in a Subaru. If you guys want to be the fastest guy on the road, I think you guys need to look more towards like maybe building an Evo or a 2JZ engine powered car, like things like that. So this video was for all of my guys on Instagram and people DMing me, asking me advice on buying a Subaru, on what I think about the WRX, and, you know, just some advice and stuff like that. So I decided to make a video for you guys. I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody watching these videos, people taking the time, who are liking, subscribing. You can follow me on Instagram as well. I'll link it in the description too. Please check out the description too. I leave a lot of information in there for you guys as well. And just thank you guys for checking the video out, man. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Happy 4th of July, and be safe out there. Don't kill yourself. Peace out.